This inequality looks pretty complicated with fractions, squares, and square roots mixed together. But often, complex-looking problems have simpler structures underneath. Let's start by finding the domain where this expression is actually defined. Before solving, we need to find when this expression is well defined. There are two conditions that restrict the values of x we can use. First, we can't take the square root of a negative number, so 2x plus 1 must be non-negative. So we subtract 1 from both sides. So 2x is greater than or equal to negative 1, and dividing both sides by 2. Our first constraint is x greater than or equal to negative 1/2. Second, we can't divide by 0. Our denominator is squared, so it equals 0 only when the expression inside equals 0. So we need the expression inside these parentheses to not be 0. In other words, 1 minus the square root of 2x plus 1 cannot equal 0. Moving this square root term to the other side, we get that 1 cannot equal the square root of 2x plus 1. Now, if we square both sides to get rid of that square root, so 1 cannot equal 2x plus 1. Subtracting 1 from both sides, which means 0 cannot equal 2x. Which means, so x cannot be 0. Combining both conditions, x must be at least negative 1/2, but cannot be 0. This gives us our domain. Now let's simplify the left-hand side. We'll use rationalization to eliminate the square root from the denominator. First, let's pull out that factor of 2 from the numerator and rewrite this as the square of a simpler fraction. To eliminate the square root in the denominator, we multiply by the conjugate. We multiply by 1 plus square root of 2x plus 1 over itself. This equals 1, so it doesn't change the value. And now watch what happens in the denominator. We get a difference of squares pattern. A minus b times a plus b equals a squared minus b squared. So our denominator becomes 1 squared minus the square root quantity squared, which just gives us 1 minus whatever was under the radical. Distributing that negative sign, we get 1 minus 2x minus 1. Those ones cancel out perfectly, leaving us with just negative 2x in the denominator. Now, here's why we were so careful about the domain earlier. We can cancel 2x with negative 2x to get negative 1, but only because we know x is never 0. If we hadn't established that, this step would be invalid. So this whole messy fraction collapses down to just negative 1 times the quantity, 1 plus the square root of 2x plus 1. That's way cleaner than what we started with. Let's take a step back and appreciate what just happened. We started with this intimidating fraction with a square root buried in the denominator, and through a bit of algebraic sleight of hand, we've turned it into something much more manageable. The radical is no longer trapped in the denominator. Now, we substitute this simplified form back into our original squared expression. When we square a negative number, the negative sign disappears. The left-hand side has simplified to this much cleaner expression. Let's verify our work by plugging in x equals 1. Both the original and simplified expressions give about 7.46, so we're correct. Now, we have a much simpler inequality to solve. Now, we need to solve this cleaned-up inequality. Let's expand the left side and simplify. Expanding the squared term gives us 1 plus 2 times the square root plus 2x plus 1. Collecting like terms, we get 2 plus 2x plus our square root term. The two x terms cancel when we subtract them from both sides. This leaves us with a much simpler inequality involving just the square root. Subtracting 2 from both sides isolates the square root term. Dividing by 2 gives us the square root of 2x, plus 1 is less than 7/2. Since both sides are non-negative, we can safely square both sides without changing the inequality direction. Squaring both sides gives us 2x plus 1 is less than 49/4. Subtracting 1 from both sides, 49/4 minus 4/4 equals 45/4. Dividing by 2 gives us x is less than 45/8. Now, we combine this with our domain restrictions from earlier. We need x to satisfy all three conditions simultaneously. In interval notation, this becomes negative 1/2 to 0, not including 0, union with 0 to 45/8. Again, not including the endpoints. But we should double-check this by testing some boundary values. Let's verify our solution by checking the boundary points. At x equals negative 1/2, the left side gives us 1, the right side gives us 8. And indeed 1 is less than 8, so this endpoint should be included. At the other endpoint, x equals 45/8. Both sides equal 20.25. Since our inequality is strict, less than, not less than, or equal to, this endpoint should be excluded. Both tests confirm our solution is correct. So our solution checks out perfectly. The answer is this two-piece interval, from negative 1/2 up to but not including 0, together with from just above 0 up to but not including 45/8. Now, if you're like me and you enjoy seeing the bigger picture in mathematics, there's actually a more elegant way to approach this entire problem. What if I told you we could have avoided most of that algebra from the beginning? Here's the key insight. Instead of wrestling with that square root throughout the problem, what if we just give it a name? Let's call y the square root of 2x plus 1. This substitution transforms everything. Remember our simplified inequality? Let's see what happens when we express it in terms of y instead of x. Look at that. The whole inequality becomes much cleaner when we think in terms of y. Sometimes the right change of variables can make a problem almost trivial. Expanding the left side and cleaning up the right side, notice how those y squared terms cancel out when we subtract them from both sides. This gives us a simple linear inequality in y. Subtracting 1 from both sides, so 2y is less than 7. Dividing by 2 gives us y less than 7/2. The condition on y is quite simple. Converting back to x gives us the same result. X is less than 45/8. This substitution method shows how changing perspective can simplify complex problems. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, please give it a like and subscribe for more math problem solutions.